The June 24 update, aka 11.0, is a minor update that came out on June 11th, 2024 and ended on the 23rd of July, lasting for a total of 42 days. Due to it being a minor update, I didn't play all that much. For the sake of transparency, here's a list of days that I did play the game during the 11.0 update. On most days, I would just do my dailies and then log off, so if I missed anything important, my apologies. Normally, I wouldn't talk about how an update got announced. However, this one is special because this update only got a post on the official Fall Guys Twitter page. And while yes, Izzytorium would announce new updates on the social media page, usually they would release a detailed blog post on the website just talking about bug fixes and even exploring the update in more detail. However, this update only got the social media post, which is actually unheard of. And what's even funny is that the social media post that they actually announced the 11.0 update was specifically on the summer roadmap post they released on June 6th, or 5 days before the update was set to release. Every postseason update has had a blog post that details the new things the update will add, along with bug fixes and some other stuff. They'd even make trailers and post them on YouTube. However, not all of them would receive a trailer. The only updates that didn't were 10.5, 10.7, and now 11.0. Basically, 11.0 only got a post on social media, and not even a dedicated post. Unlike the 10.9 update, the round pool changes are much easier to keep track of. Let's start with what the round pool looked like on release day. With the release of the update, we were expecting 4 Unity or Classic levels to be unvaulted, those being Egg Scramble, Hoarders, Power Trip, and Rock and Roll. However, they weren't added back for whatever reason. The round pool for Knockout on June 11th was the exact same as it was near the end of the 10.9 update, so no changes there. The round pool for solos and duos didn't change either. However, on the 18th of June is when they would unvault the 4 team levels, those being Egg Scramble, Hoarders, Power Trip, and Rock and Roll. They would also unvault the finale variation of Jinxed. You could get Jinxed before the update, but never as a finale for whatever reason, but now you can. Since the 4 levels are team rounds, they will be added to squads and duos only. On June 18th, Izzytorium could re-add Basketball, Fall Ball, Jinxed, and Team Tail Tag to duos. Snowy Scrap was added to duos, and this is notable because you could only get it in squads but not on duos. I believe this means that all the team games that were present in squads are now in duos. On July 16th, Izzytorium could make a FTUE or First Time User Experience version of Knockout, which is basically what someone would see if they just installed Fall Guys for the first time and hopped on Knockout. It includes 3 new levels made in Fall Guys Creative, those being Welcome to Fall Guys, Digital Highway, and Treetop Rollers. All 3 are made by Izzytorium. It's a 4-round experience. Round 1 is Welcome to Fall Guys, Round 2 is Digital Highway, Round 3 is Treetop Rollers, and Round 4, aka the finale, is Snowball Survival. I'll briefly mention the Explore Classic Limited Time mode they added on July 16th, which is basically Explore but for Unity levels. It functions nearly the same but with some quirks. For those not in the loop, Explore mode was added in the 10.9 aka Fall Forever update and contains a near infinite amount of levels made in Fall Guys Creative. Once you've crossed the finish line, it will automatically take you to the next level. They also made it to where the course levels have a 100% qualification rate, meaning everyone can qualify. You also have the ability to skip a level, so you aren't forced to watch other people struggle to finish or play one that you just don't like. However, if you do skip a level, you will not receive any rewards from it. You can keep going for as long as you like, and once you're ready to leave, you will receive your rewards. Classic Explore lasted for 7 days and contained 37 Unity levels. They added Course, Survival, Logic, and Hunt levels. Finales such as Hexagon, Hexaterrestrial, and Hexaring are in Classic Explore but as survival levels. The interesting thing about this LTM was the fact that it contained variations that have been vaulted for years, such as the low gravity on the padded beams of Slime Climb and the stacked fan variant on Stomping Grounds. Well, those are the ones that I could find, so let me know if you saw any vaulted variation that I didn't mention. Also, what was strange is that the LTM did last for 7 days, however there was no timer that indicated that it would actually last for 7 days. The only reason that I knew it would last for 7 days is because I actually went on Fall Guys DB, and that actually showed how long the LTM was going to last for. I sincerely hope they consider making Classic Explore a permanent mode because I really enjoyed playing it. Fame Pass 11, aka June 24, released on June 18th, 2024 and ended on the 23rd of July. And much like the previous Fame Pass that being made 24, Fame Pass 11 is 70 tiers long, and if you bought the Fame Pass bundle, you'd unlock the Dragon Fruit skin, which is exclusive to the bundle. However, you can buy it outright for 900 Showbucks after the fact if you wish to do so. This is the second Fame Pass to give out a bonus skin, the first one being Fame Pass 10. From tier 4 till tier 8 had you needing 10,000 fame to reach the next tier. From tier 9 till 28 needed 13,000 fame. And what's strange is that tier 29 and only that tier had you needing 14,000 fame to unlock it, and from tier 30 30 to 38, it's back to the normal 13,000. And finally, from tier 39 to 70 had you needing 15,000 fame. Something I found while comparing Fame Pass 10 to this one is that before you purchase a pass in Fame Pass 10, the preview image for tiers that contains kudos, showbucks, crown shards, and just about everything else is darkened or blacked out. I should be showing footage of me going through Fame Pass 10 before I purchased it. However, in Fame Pass 11, you can clearly see that even though I haven't bought the pass yet, the showbucks, crown shards, kudos, and full costumes are clearly visible, although the color and pattern remained darkened for some odd reason. The strangest thing about this pass, in my opinion, is how they gave out the upper half of a full skin first, then its lower half, whereas in every other Fame Pass, they would give you the lower half, then the upper. Even the alternative skins in Fame Pass 11 gave out the upper half first. Not really a big deal, but let's be honest, most things I cover aren't a big deal, but I like talking about the little stuff that most people will just gloss over. The pass gave out 5 alternative skins, one of them being in the main part of the pass, that being the Moonlight Mushroom, which was in tier 42 and 44. What's interesting is that 3 of the alts are volcano themed, those being Scourge Weaver, Magma Elemental, and Boulder Blast. And I know this is a global change, but in the Fame Pass, they changed the color of the rare label. Here's what the label used to look like versus what it looks like now. And I personally like the change. And the last thing I noticed while on the Fame Pass page is that the 2 little bubbles that are indicating whether you're on the crown rank page or in the Fame Pass page, they actually increase the size of the elements that are actually in the little bubbles. If I flick through it back and forth, you can see what I mean. They would also increase the thickness of the stroke that's on the outer edge of the bubble. This would normally be part of the video where I talk about Fall Guys Creative and the things he added. However, I didn't go into creative mode once this update. However, I did get a comment saying that if you try and publish a level without any checkpoints, the game will let you know that while you can do so, it's recommended you play some. And if I am showing off footage of this, do note it is from the 11.1 update, which is the update after this. But hopefully there shouldn't be any differences between the two. But if there is, my apologies on that. I just did not go to creative mode at all during this update. However, one thing I did stumble across in the creative menu is that my maps are in a different order than normal for whatever reason. Due to the fact that I played this update for a total of 5 minutes, this section won't be long. And oddly enough, most of the bugs I could find were in the shop. And normally the Wallet shop does have bugs, they've been patched out very quickly, but some of these bugs have lasted for the entire update. If you select any of the showbucks and back out, the Fall Guy model will be replaced by a showbuck. Unfortunately, you cannot play as a floating showbuck because when you start the search for a game, you go back to normal. And this bug was here for the entire 11.0 update. And I believe this was just a visual bug, meaning it didn't actually affect gameplay or it didn't actually affect anything in the lobby that was important. If you go and preview skin while in the shop and back out, it still shows a preview of whatever you're wearing in the background. If however you go to the lobby, the plinth will have the Fall Guy wearing the cosmetic you were previewing. You didn't purchase a skin, you were just previewing it and you went to the lobby and your Fall Guy would still be wearing that. And it even carries to when you're in the locker, as you can see here. I'm showing off a top hat that changes color based on what you have equipped. And while talking about the lobby, if you go to an emote and then back out to the lobby, the emote will continuously loop with audio. To stop the audio from playing, just go to any other page, such as the locker for example. When in the level loading screen, sometimes the music just won't play. This didn't happen to me a whole lot. I think this was the second time it did, and while on the loading screen, the white stroke that's on the pink bar that contains the map's name is slightly misaligned. Mainly the top part, the stroke is thinner on the top versus the rest. Here's a comparison for the 10.9 update, and it might be very hard to see, so I was trying to flick back and forth and hopefully you should be able to notice the difference. It's one of those things when you finally notice it, you won't be able to unsee it. One time I was in the celebration page, and once I was done previewing one, the audio of it would play even though I wasn't full screen previewing it, which has never happened to me before. This wasn't a one-off and happened on multiple celebrations. It's a bit confusing, so let me show you instead. When playing Classic Explorer, I got a short circuit, then after qualifying, I got it immediately after. Although with the skip feature, it wasn't much of an issue, but weird how I got it back to back. I have no idea if this is the bug, but I'll assume it is. In custom lobbies, roll off on the knockout tab still shows it needing one player. However, the game ends the moment it starts, and Blastball's thumbnail still shows a Creative Splash image as its thumbnail with the music being different. And here's some gameplay that I got while playing Blast Ball in solos. However, these bugs aren't anything new and actually was in the 10.9 update. And as always, the view names text still overlaps with the fall feed. This was a bug I encountered only once, and on June 30th, while playing a game, my character had the Lagoon color on even though I didn't have that particular color equipped. It showed it in the celebration as well, but when I got to the game rewards screen, it showed the actual color I had equipped. Let's talk about the bugs and changes you guys commented on a community post I made asking for them. Rick C. Sizedy mentioned a few things, such as there being a music delay in the lobby, and they think it's because Mutonic wanted to play the full version of Everybody Falls but forgot to put it in, and it seems like the beginning part of the song wasn't present. And as for the second point, I don't believe that's a bug, but rather an intended change, but yeah, it does make teen games weird to get, which I do understand because you don't want to make them too common or people will get fed up. But at the same time, you can make them too rare because what's the point of playing squads and duos? You're just getting the same maps you'd always get in solos, just with a few teammates. Ragdolling was mentioned, and although I didn't play this update as much as I previously mentioned, but I didn't really ragdoll all that much, but you let me know, was it something that you experienced? Because with the new physics they added in 10.9, ragdolling was pretty much dead. Lastly, they talked about how they got the wrong medals in some rounds such as Snowy Scrap, Pixel Painters, and all the hunt rounds in squads and duos. Pisces Plays mentioned that you'll sometimes get kicked back to the lobby when qualifying a level and explore, and when you queue again to back out, you'll go to the reward screen. Aditya India or IN says that they found a bug in the first 2 days of the update and that if you're in a party, everybody would have the voice chat enabled by default. Ernesto VRGD mentions how the map nameplate's pink color is slightly up, which makes the outline overlap with it. With this update, they also improved ledge grabbing, so Ernesto found that you can grab onto slopes and other surfaces. Cosmo Stickfill found the following on Switch and PS5. They said you can go invisible in a lobby if you do the preview glitch on any color in the shop, then switch to a different skin in your locker. Apparently the keybinds for emote and phrase wheel got switched to L1 and R1, and skipping levels in Explore changed to right on the D-pad. I basically never used the emote and phrase wheel, so this was something I legitimately did not notice. Zerkerzone says that when viewing the Break It Down celebration, however, they think this works with a celebration that has the uncommon rarity. It shows the normal green border, however, when you go full screen on the preview, the border changes to purple like it has the epic rarity when it's not. MMA Gamer 0909 left a massive comment, so I'll talk about some of the things they mentioned, such as when you're piggybacking someone on maps with tiles like Hexaterrestrial, Hexaring, Hexagon, Thin Ice, and I assumed the Tiptoe maps as well. The piggyback person also hits and activates the hex tiles. In Lost Temple, if you don't jump through a door, your momentum gets reduced, and this is something that has never happened to them in the 10.7 or 10.8, but did in 10.9 and now 11.0. In Blast Ball, if you get comboed, which can happen if you get hit by multiple blast balls, the knockback has been reduced, so you're able to land on the floor, which is great great to hear. And according to them, desync is a big problem again, and mid-air body blocking is worse because it fully reduces the momentum and makes you drop back down. The Real Master 8945 said that Pixel Painters still has a bug in duos in which multiple teams spawn in the same arena. Volleyfall uneven bug is still present, however this is something they heard and not something they can confirm. Melina Kiss mentions how they will still get the failed to download bug, which only happens in creative levels. I don't know if it happens in Explore. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone actually getting the failed to download bug in Explore, and really the only places that I would get the failed to download bug is whenever a creative level would be in the core modes. So I assume they got it in Knockout, but I could be wrong on that. Comment below and let me know, did you get the failed to download bug while playing Knockout in the 11.0 update? Oantis said that if you preview some celebrations and look at other ones, the game could freeze or crash, and they observed this on PC, PS4, and Switch. I've never had my game crash from previewing celebrations, and I play on PC, more specifically the Steam version. Jose Hagura 3068 talks about how the ledge grab improvements makes grabbing a bit generous, and that this change does make the grab experience better on Switch since it was horrible according to them. Selecting an emote, sticker, or text has a slight delay. Survival and Explore now has an elimination cap instead of having a single winner. And as for bugs, they found that even though they changed their emotes, the game and while the image previews updated, none of the emotes actually changed, and closing the game didn't fix this either. And this comment by the Lion Moon confirmed some of the bugs that other people have commented, such as Hoopsie Daisy having a 5-minute timer, multiple teams spawning in the same arena on Pixel Painters, although this was only seen in duos, and this was an old bug that was first seen in Season 2 Solid Scramble, which is when Pixel Painters made its debut. The uneven teams bug in Volleyfall is still present in squads and duos. The monitor in Pixel Painters sometimes won't show a picture, making the round impossible to complete, and according to them, this is due to a squad stealing a point from another team, as each arena has a maximum of 5 images to copy. Street Thief FG mentioned how Unity levels or classic levels in Knockout have the incorrect description, and this bug has been a thing since the 10.9 aka the Fall Forever update. Goldie25 listed out the common bugs people have found, such as the emote preview bug, the one in which you become a showbuck, negative showbucks, and how the music in finales is not working. The editor plays on the PS5 port, and they said that they got Whirligig while in Explore mode. They will get lagged out shortly thereafter. Squad Goals trophy is bugged in where you aren't able to get it in solos, whereas you were able to in the last update, and you also cannot get it in Knockout. Barg TV 9066 commented that the Comfort Carry skin turns white after you use the invisibility power-up. Along with that, they mentioned how in Classic Explorer, if you get 2 rounds in a row, the previous round variation mixes with the current round. Unnamed Scribble AUTTP talks about how they added a warning if you have no checkpoints in your level, and how it said the following, quote, "Your level currently doesn't have any checkpoints. While you don't need them to publish your level, we strongly recommend adding some," end quote. They also played a game of big shots by themselves in customs. I believe you could do that in the Knockout tab, and the cannons were nowhere to be seen, and that Beans of the Roundtable was playing. And that's weird because that track is not supposed to play while you're on big shots. Toroko 8K mentions the keybinds changing bug, which sounds similar to the bug in where your keybinds reset every time you boot up the game. It's something that's been happening since the 10.6 update. However, I also seen posts by people complaining about it as far back as Season 3 Second Secrets. Will Win 856 talk about the duo's Pixel Painters bug, in which multiple teams can spawn in one arena. Stefan Kokik 744 mentioned the bug in that if you select an accessory from the store and exit without buying it, you'll still be wearing that cosmetic. YC Biz Mid plays on the Switch port and mentions how their game crashes whenever they go to the Discovery tab. And this is a special one because this isn't from a YouTube community post that I normally make. This is actually from Twitter. Pewee Hakim 2 over on Twitter tagged me on a post they made, and at first glance it seems fine. But if you look at the top left, you can see the bubble that holds the player name. And normally it's supposed to be on top of the bean's head. And I'll be honest, it took me a few seconds to even notice. Normally I do not feature bugs that people post and tag me on Twitter since I'm not very active on there. And the only reason why I'm active on Twitter is just for these update breakdowns and some videos that may require research. Usually I'll visit some Twitter pages like FG Update Infos for example. And I basically never check my mentions tab, and I'm glad I did because I would not have actually found this bug. I don't think anybody posted this particular bug. So if you want, you can post your bugs and changes on Twitter and tag me, especially if it has a video clip or an image, and there's a high chance I'm not going to feature it on the video, but if you want, you can give it a shot. Normally we get bug fixes in the blog post, however there wasn't one for 11.0. Thankfully Fogger's Owl, an official Fogger's account, posted some bug fixes and also talk about some of the posts they made in regards to bugs. A fix was made to ensure the correct amount of crowns earned are displayed in the reward screen. Explore levels now have the correct music set by the creators. Survival levels in Explore will now have different medals than Race. Although when I played Explore near the end of the 11.0 update, Race and Survival actually had the same medal. So I don't know why they posted that. Maybe at the start of the update, maybe the medals were different, but they definitely weren't when I played. They fixed an issue where invisibility could result result in the character appearing completely white. Fixed your player desync while observing other players crossing the drawbridge. The freeze and emote wheel are now using the trigger buttons by default. Escape levels and explore is right on the D-pad. If you picked up the fake faint emote, you would get negative show bugs. The account did say that some people would relaunch the game and would fix, but they would investigate it. And around 4 hours later, they made a post saying they fixed the issue. June 25th is when they made the following post. It basically said that players who progressed through the pass before purchasing it would see the rewards they earned as locked, even though they can see them in the locker and equip them from the locker screen as normal. It took them almost a month, but on July 15th they fixed it. And this is my favorite part of the video. Here I will talk about the UI changes, mainly the ones in the home screen, as that was the biggest change in this update. They changed the position of the nameplate. In 10.9 it was at the bottom and to the left. However, in 11.0 they changed it to the top, and now it is more to the right side. I suppose it's at the left quadrant of the screen, but it's a little to the right, just like it was in the 10.6 aka Power Party update. They also increased the size of the nameplate. The crown rank icon or emblem is at the left side and has been slightly altered. It's now in the shape of a shield almost. The biggest redesign by far is the Fame Pass bar. In 10.9 it was in the shape of a ticket, and it sort of kept elements of the previous bar, which was last seen in the 10.6 update. This ticket design came out on the 10.7 aka Shapes and Stickers update. However, in 11.0 they completely changed the design and it's now in a rounded rectangle shape with the inside filled with this deep blue, almost purplish color, I think. The only thing carried over from the old design was the pink progress bar and the white bar with the counter. This is a lot more generic looking in my opinion, but with the rumblings of the mobile port coming soon, this design is more mobile friendly and familiar to people who play mobile games, I suppose. Since the bar is in the shape of a button, people who play mobile games or people who are not familiar with Fall Guys could think, okay, this is actually in the shape of a button, and I know other games and other places that actually use the same design, so I can tap on this and this will take me to a different page. It's one of those things where you design UI, especially for mobile, you want to have elements that people are actually familiar with. The button to open your Epic Friends list or the social panel has also been updated and has the same color scheme used on the Fame Pass. The keybind, that being V, has been moved to the top, whereas previously it was at the bottom. If you needed any more convincing that the UI was changed in favor of mobile, just look at the play button. It's now much bigger and in a bright yellow. The middle image of the yellow bean is now straight, whereas before it was at a slight angle, and the other two images are more tucked in behind the first one. In 10.9 aka Fall Forever, whenever you open the game for the first time, it will just show you the play button. However, in 11.0 it shows the play button and also the option to change game. Although when you do have a game selected in 10.9, it would actually show you the change game option, because if you press the play button, it would actually just start the search for that particular show you have selected. The newsfeed bar has been squished down, however the text is much bigger, although the bar itself has been pushed further down. Along with that, the challenges panel has also been squished down. Here's a before and after so you can see what I mean. The settings gear icon that's on the top right is now larger, and the square has been filled in with the same deep blue purplish color. They made the bar that holds a kudos counter longer. They also increased the size of the showbox counter bar and moved it more to the left side. I'll flip to the old and new a few times so you can see what I mean. Moving on to the navigation bar, they changed the icon for the Fame Pass. It's now a ticket, the same one that's on the current Fame Pass bar. They also increased the thickness of the stroke around all the buttons. I'll flip through the old and new a few times so you can see what I mean. Mitronic would change the position of the label, which is the rounded rectangle bar you see after you qualify. It's been moved quite a ways up, and whenever someone qualifies, their name shows up on top of the label, which depending on the round can essentially block the label for a good second or two. When on the qualification box after the level has ended, the white outline that goes around your character has changed. Before, it was a full stroke that will go around the box, whereas now it's just 4 simple strokes around the corners. In terms of UI changes, the store did receive 2 notable ones. The first one being the 5 buttons, which are a lot more rounded than before, which makes them easier to tap with your fingers. The last 3 bundles on the showbox section now have the red stickers, which are synonymous with sales in the real world. The number themselves aren't new and were on the panels before, however they were much smaller. They added this icon next to skins that change based on the color you have equipped. So I was wondering, is this icon brand new or did they update an existing icon? And while I was going through my archives, in 10.9 they actually featured the Octillion Outsiders kit. If you look at the preview or the thumbnail for the Octillion Outsiders kit, you can actually see a little color wheel, and when you actually preview the skins, one of them actually changes based on the color that you have equipped. In 10.8, aka the survival update, they gave away this tail that's in the shape of a paintbrush that changes based on the color that you have equipped, and it didn't show the color wheel on the preview or the thumbnail image. But I believe that in the 10.9 update, they actually added the color wheel, which was used to indicate that a skin can actually change color based on what you have equipped. And that in 11.0, they updated the icon. Either way, this is definitely a new icon because I have never seen this before the 11.0 update. The newsfeed itself has received some changes. The text is larger and the buttons have received the same treatment as well. The button to close the feed has been changed and the color is the same deep blue that's on several of the buttons featured on the home screen. In the settings, the how to play pop-up has changed. Before it would just darken the background and show the graphic, but now it has a proper box which the graphic rests on. In 10.9, it used to say customize your fall guy, whereas in 11.0, it says customize your bean. The text has been changed from confirm to understood, and the option of back out is gone. In 10.9, you could see it on the bottom right. Now let's quickly mosey on down to explore. In the level loading screen, they made the bar that holds the max player count longer. The skip level button is much bigger than it was before. When you qualified on a course or race level, you'd see quite a few things, and in the 11.0 update, they changed a few things around. Firstly, like in the other modes, the label has been moved upwards and now the rating panel has been moved down, since in the last update it was at the top, but that's no longer the case. They also put a rounded rectangle around the text that says searching for a level and finding next level, and again the color is that deep blue we've seen all over the place. They also removed the big red button that says cancel, or at least it doesn't appear the second you qualify. I'm sure I missed something, so comment below and let me know if I missed any UI changes. In this section, I'll talk about stuff that I couldn't find a place for in the other sections and things that I feel like that aren't that important enough to have their own dedicated spot in the video. As previously mentioned, Mutonic changed the color of the rare label, making it darker, and is overall an improvement in my opinion. It just makes it a lot more readable, and this change is done throughout the entire game, so any area that has the rare label has been changed. Along with the unvaulting of 4 classic or unity levels, it would also add some quality of life improvements, those being small space camera improvements, which I'm assuming makes it to where the camera doesn't get stuck or the field of view isn't super zoomed in when you're in small spaces, giving players overall a better field of view in small areas. Second one is ledge grabbing improvements, and according to the comments I read on my community posts, people are able to grab onto things they weren't able to before, and in general, grabbing feels more responsive. Every post-seasonal update has had an official name: Summer Breeze, Fall Force, Tool Up, Power Party, Shapes and Stickers, Survival Update, and Fall Forever. This update is the first one not to have been given an official name. June 2024 is when the update was released, and is basically an unofficial name. In Explore mode, the medal you receive is now the one that's being used for Block Party. This is true for both survival and race levels, oddly enough, even though Fogger's Owl said the opposite, that race and survival would actually get different medals. In 10.9, you would receive the medal used in Gate Crash. Clicking or tapping on the Crown Rank icon and nameplate while on the homepage will take you to the Crown Rank page and nameplate interface tab respectively. I cannot believe it took Mutonic nearly 4 years to add this little feature, but I'm just so glad it's here because it just makes sense when you think about the way the tab is actually laid out. Oh, okay, you can actually tap on it or click on it and actually take you to the page, but it never did. Especially with the mobile port potentially coming very soon, it just makes sense to make those icons clickable. Apparently on June 18th, Skibber's matchmaking was enabled on Explore. However, a day later, they would revert the change so it no longer has it. Also on the 18th, they changed the qualification percentage for survival levels in Explore from 1% to 25%. And they also increased the player count in duos and squads. We only got 2 limited time modes or LTMs in 11.0, those being Fall Ball Cup and Explore Classic. They both released on a Tuesday. Fall Ball Cup released on the 3rd week of the update and Explore Classic released on the 6th week. What's funny is that in 10.9 aka Fall Forever, we only got 1 LTM, that being Extreme Squads, and that released on a Tuesday and on the 3rd week. Just a funny coincidence, I suppose. We did receive a kudos celebration in the 11.0 update, although that's normal because we've gotten one for every postseason update starting from 10.3 aka Summer Breeze. However, we didn't get one for 10.9 aka Fall Forever, weirdly enough. Although kudos celebration first released on May 12th, 2023, or during SS4 aka Season 4 Creative Construction, and has been a consistent thing ever since. Well, at least for now. In terms of bug fixes, I found the following. When in the party menu, the join chat and disable chat text no longer overlap with each other. They fixed the audio being low when resetting a checkpoint. In 10.9, if you open the menu while in a game, the audio will fade in the background. However, once you get out of it, the audio should go back to normal. But when you reset a checkpoint, the audio would still be faded even though you're not in the menu anymore. But now that is no longer the case. In the Discovery tab, the Weekly Survival Trading tab now shows Party Too Small if you're not in a party or if it's not large enough to start a search. This is due to the fact that if you queue up for a creative survival level, you'll qualify the second it starts, so a squad is required if you wish to play survival levels found in the Discovery tab. In 10.9, duos wouldn't have all the team levels that were present in squads. However, on June 18th, they would fix that, so all the team levels that were available got added to duos. The Kizuna AI Gamer skin was slated to release during 10.9, however, it never did for whatever reason. On June 30th, it was finally released, and if you had the original Kizuna AI skin, the gamer version was free. Not sure if it was done on purpose or not, but hey, we take those. Duos and squads now award the correct amount of fame. The medal requirements for Power Trip have changed as well. Gold went from 325 to 285. Silver was 285 and is now 245. And lastly, bronze was 245 and is now 205. Volleyball max players and duos have been reduced from 24 to 20, and Pixel Painter's max players and duos have been reduced from 24 to 15. In the page where you go to select your emotes, they once again changed the little glyph that lets you know that an emote is on the social wheel. They would change it in the 10.9 update, however, it seems like they once again changed it and it's no longer in the shape of a D-pad like it was previously, and it is now in the shape of a hanger. And what's interesting is that back in the day, on the navigation bar, the icon to go to the outfits tab was actually in the shape of a hanger. Like with previous updates, Mutonic enabled double fame around the last 2 weeks of the update. However, they also enabled triple fame on the 17th of July, which is 6 days before the update ended. The Beanball power-up now glows, while on top of the power-up spawner that is. You can see this in Rolling Runes for example. Here's what it looked like in 10.9, and now here's what it looked like in 11.0. Mutonic will remove Lily Leaper's Limbo from custom lobbies, and unrelated to the 11.0 update, but the entire Fall Guys OST has been uploaded to a website called Smash Custom Music. It's a place that contains a crap ton of video game soundtracks, and you can basically listen to them with no interruption as long as you can loop them. It's a pretty cool website, and I'm very glad to see the soundtrack preserved in a sense. I'll link it in the pinned comment for those interested. While talking about cool and interesting things, I went over an artist who drew one Fall Guy a day every day for an entire year. Tap the video on screen to learn more. And thank you to our Max Store members for your support as always.